Sunni from the Adventures of Sunni.com, and currently we're in a retrograde of Mercury, which prompted me to start digging into all of that stuff, and I realized that I am not an expert in that. There's things that I know and I've explored lately, but I don't necessarily know what I'm talking about, and this is Molly. And Molly knows some of these things, so I thought I would pull her in and just chat about what I don't know so that everybody can learn as I learn. Okay, so Mercury. So years ago, I had what felt like something physical happening. And I have a partner who's a nurse, so I called and described my symptoms. And I was like, I'm very tingly. My heart is racing. It feels like a panic attack. I feel like the world is about to end. And it's like in my gut, like I cannot shake this feeling. And it's been like an hour. And my partner was like, when a woman has a heart attack, she has an impending sense of doom and is really tingly. And so she wanted me to go to the emergency room. Long story short, I ended up having 2 nurses in my home for the evening and monitoring my pulse and whatnot because my heart would not stop racing. And around 11 o'clock, somebody in my world was like, you know, Mercury is at its peak of retrograde and it controls communication. And there's something that you need to say to someone. I kicked everyone out. I had a massive conversation with my primary partner at the time who was living in my home. A whole bunch of stuff got off my chest. And as I started talking, my heart rate went down. Now, no, I went and got checked out. There was nothing wrong with my body. I have no physical evidence for what happened. And at the time, I'd never heard of any of this. So since then, I've been very in tune with what's up with Mercury and retrogrades. And I was experiencing some stuff a few days ago where technology wasn't working. Nothing was working. I was trying to have a very meaningful conversation with my partner, and I kept jumbling all of the words. And I finally was like, I'm so frustrated. And he said, hey, check it out. I bet Mercury's in retrograde. Sure enough. So I still don't really completely and totally understand what that means. I just know that there's an impact to me. And I know that there's a lot of people in my sphere who have never even really been exposed to it. So I would love for you to share what knowledge you do have about the topic. So what is a retrograde? What does that mean when they say Mercury is in retrograde?
It means that it's not actually going backwards, but the term retrograde means backwards movement. So it's...
I thought the planet was broken the first time somebody said that. I was like, the world is ending.
Right.
It's not actually going backwards. This is good to know. Okay.
So if we could speed up time and watch the planets move through the sky, and we can if we sit there long enough, but they move in a certain direction most of the time. But because of Mercury's placement in the solar system, it passes us more rapidly. So it's one that goes into retrograde several times a year. And basically it means it's like when a car, when you're passing someone in a car, so Earth is going a little bit faster and then Mercury's just going the same speed, but it looks like it's slowing down. It looks like it's
so
backward.
Okay, so when you kind of slowly pass a car and it's like, you look out the passenger window and it looks like the car is going backwards.
Right, but it's going at the same speed.
It's just moving a little bit slower.
Right.
Oh, that's a great example. Okay. Okay, so when Mercury is in retrograde, it means that we're going faster than it and it looks like it's going slower, or we're the ones that look like we're going backwards?
It looks like Mercury's going a little bit slower because it's in the inner track of the solar system. And so we're sort of passing it on the outer track. But because it's actually going faster than us, but it tends to slow whenever we do pass it.
Physics, all that fun stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know how many planets have this retrograde happen?
They all do, but the reason why we hear about Mercury is because it happens more often.
Do you know how many of them have I know you've described for me that you don't see the planets as actually causing anything here on Earth. And in my view of things, when Mercury goes into retrograde, I feel something. There is an impact. So whether or not it's causing it, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It's semantics, right?
Do you know if any of the other planets' retrogrades are known to have impacts here on Earth?
They do, and it will be in the area of questions. So when Venus goes into retrograde, usually the way we're doing relationships, the way we're receiving love, the way we're
right, because Venus rules like love and relationships.
Love and different than the moon. So the moon is more the way we communicate, like that close communication in relationships, and the way our heart or the needs of the heart. Venus is the way we receive intimacy, sensuality, love, that kind of good stuff. But when Venus goes into retrograde, it's going to sort of shake up our current, anytime something goes into retrograde, it's basically shaking up our current understanding, and we're going to review. So whatever that planet rules, those aspects are going to come into question. And if we're not careful, it can really shake up our life, and we don't know why. But it's because again, in my view, to keep current, keep congruent with the happenings, it's simply happening. It's not like, oh, the planet is doing this, but it's sort of happening with us, and it helps us understand, okay, so this is the part of our growth process where we need to back up and redefine some things or shake out some things that don't work anymore. Just some like pruning and trimming in those areas of our lives.
Sure. And I want to say too that I feel like retrogrades get a bit of a bad rap, especially Mercury, because it rules communication. And now these days we communicate almost so heavily through technology that technology is now kind of falling under Mercury as well. And it has like this reputation of things break, things don't work and whatnot. But I know of a few people that this particular retrograde are having amazing relations really well. And I know that for me, when things don't work, my experience thus far has been that something else happens because I'm not communicating, or because I'm not on technology, or I stumbled over the words in that conversation I was having with my partner, but it had me just give up and allow them to come forward with their message. So good things come out of it. You just kind of have to sometimes look for it. So I don't mean to like give retrogrades bad rap, guys. You know.
No, that's really good. That when we're trying to get out, when you're at the beach and then the waves or the undertow's pulling you back, if you try to fight going forward to get into the shore and you don't ride the wave in, you're going to be tired, you're going to be exhausted, you're going to feel beat up like you fought the ocean. But if you just go, okay, I'm getting pulled back now, and then you let the wave push you forward, what happens, especially in a Mercury retrograde, or anyone, I guess, but more noticeably in Mercury, is you do feel pulled back. There's setbacks and delays and things, but just at the right time, you're effortlessly where you want it to be. So it's about, for me on a spiritual level, about letting go and letting God, letting life, letting divine forces do their thing. And for me, I just kind of do a humility alert when Mercury's coming, especially, when I'm doing technology or anything. And this week I had several setbacks. I mean, already, and we're right in the middle of it now. It's going to end on the 22nd. But definitely in the beginning, it was just like everything I tried to do was setback. And I had to just go, okay, well, I'm not getting what I want. I'm not able to move forward, but I know it's for the best. And it really was for the best. And towards the end of the week, things start to move more smoothly. And you find when you come out of it, things get redefined and everything is easy going until the next one comes.
Right. They'll say that there's a retrograde in Leo, or the retrograde is in Cancer. Can you talk a little bit about what that means and like how we interpret that or what we do with that information?
Sure. And that's a good way to kind of visualize in your chart how the planets fall into those houses. So when Mercury is retrograde in the sign of, like right now it's Virgo. Basically Virgo rules, it's a very grounded sign, but it's about detail orientation, caretaking, making sure things are smoothed out on the edges. If you think of OCD or, I have a lot of Virgo in my chart, so I get it. But, and Virgos even joke about it with themselves, that they're just a bit anal, things have to be a certain way. So this Mercury retrograde is causing a lot of us to question how we do details and how we do kind of control stuff and asking us to release control over the things we can't control and letting the details work themselves out. And also how much, right? Yeah. So, and how much do we want to pay attention to how important is it to us to get things just right in our way? And maybe we learn, like, it's okay. I can throw some of those little particulars out. They really don't serve me anymore. And then some people who are maybe a little messier with their life decide, I'm going to, like, hone it in and get a little more detail oriented. I think that'll serve me better. And so that's really what's happening in this particular one. If it's in Cancer, it will usually be how you nurture your relationship to your comfort zone. And I'm a Cancer sun, so I get, totally understand Cancer to the core. It's a very emotional sign and very cozy, things that are close to you. And it challenges all that, but also asks you to sort of, again, if you don't have a close relationship with your comfort zone, maybe it's time to build one.
So essentially, this is where having a basic understanding of astrology will help you understand retrogrades, because if you understand the basic personality traits of all of the different signs and all their houses, then when Mercury goes into retrograde in a sign, you realize that what's going to be most heavily impacted is whatever that sign's qualities. Right. But it's like, I think, at least from the way my brain works, the first layer of the onion and understanding a retrograde is knowing what it is. The next layer is understanding what it means when it's in a certain sign. And then the next layer would be kind of really getting into how it impacts you personally.
Right. And just to sum up on where it is we're in Virgo now. So, anybody whose birthday is between the 22nd of last month, 22nd of this, sometimes 23rd, is in Virgo. So that's when it falls. So if that helps.
Gotcha. All right. So thank you so much for investing the time to explain things to me and for being willing to do it on camera, so that, which to me just makes sense, right? Like, you have a conversation with one person, thanks to technology, you can then share that with a whole bunch of people. And now lots of people get to learn about Mercury.
Totally. I love it.
How do people find you? If people want to schedule a session with you and actually work with you and learn more from you, how do we find you?
Well, I have a website out there. It's mollymattcartney.com, and I'm sure it'll be under the video here. So just check that out. There's a lot of information about me, and there's a contact page. You can just type in your email address and let me know what you're looking for, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Awesome. And so people can hire you to do specific readings and work with you one-on-one. If they're in the Central Florida area, they can come find you, I believe, at Avalon on occasion, right?
I do Avalon the 2nd and 4th Sundays of the month, 12 to 4, Psychic Sundays. So come see me there. And I also do readings worldwide. I love doing readings in other countries, Alaska, Germany, New Zealand was my farthest. So I love speaking to people and connecting to people all over the place, just through Skype. Super easy.
We actually did a reading 2 weeks ago now, I think, where I was in Spokane, Washington, and you were in Central Florida, and it was awesome. So cool. Well, thank you again for spending time with me and sharing your wisdom, and I can't wait to talk to you. I know we have a conversation scheduled to talk about your business in a couple of days. I'm excited about that.
I can't wait. Thank you for having me, and it's been great connecting.
Awesome.